Hi everybody, this is Jacqueline Michelle back to another baking episode. This time we're making the elusive apple fritters. I get a lot of requests for these. A little bit time consuming, but they're definitely worth it. A labor of love for sure. So this is really similar to the yeast donut recipe to start out with in my previous videos, but quickly I'll go over this with you. I put 1 cup warm water, and I have 2 packs of this. This is my favorite right here, and it's 2 cups of this. And I keep saying cups, and I did that the last 2 packs of that. And forgive my oven top. I just got done cooking, so I need to clean it. But this is in. So what I've done is I've mixed it up. As you can see, it's starting to foam. I'm going to put this in my microwave. That's a knife safe environment for the yeast. The oven has been on a while. Like I said, I was cooking. Plus, I was also, trying to get my temperature in the house a little bit warm because the air got left on overnight by a certain someone. Put it down on 50 degrees. So it was an ice box in here. And anyway, I might just go ahead and leave that sitting right there on the oven because it is pretty warm. So in here, I have 4 cups, 4.5 actually cups flour. I have like about a teaspoon and a half of salt. I have about a teaspoon and a half to a teaspoon of baking powder. I also, this is different from the yeast recipe, I have put in nutmeg and cinnamon. Nutmeg is to taste, a few sprinkles to a couple, like 3 or 4 if you really like that strong taste. And then also a few dashes of cinnamon. You're going to add more cinnamon later, but at this point, this is what you need. And I did not sift this. I just mixed it around. This is all-purpose flour, by the way. So what I'm going to do is, I also learned from the other video is that I got to make them a lot shorter because I'm not able to process them when they're really, really long. So these are going to be a lot more condensed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this, as you see, it is bubbling. A little spillage here, but from where I was turning around, it's bubbling up. And I'm going to let that stand for another 4 or 5 more minutes. And then in this dough right here, I'm going to put in 3 eggs to the dough. So I let the eggs, they're out at room temperature, and I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to mix the eggs around. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 1/4 cup vegetable shortening, cut that in, and I'm also going to add about 1/4 cup of butter, cut that in. So that's going to equal about a half. So I'll get back to you when all that is done. I'll get back with you as soon as I get ready to go to the next step. Okay, y'all, let me turn the water off real quick. As you can see, it's made a little mess, but that's all good. So here's the dough. It's going to be a darker dough because it has the cinnamon and the nutmeg in it. It is just like, it's very elastic and sticky. So now I've got my buttered bowl and I have my flour here. I'm going to add in, I've stirred this really, really good. I didn't actually have to put any milk because of the applesauce. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It just, I use a little more applesauce. We'll see. But I'll let you know how it turns out as far as whether or not you need to actually add the milk. But at this point, it doesn't need milk. So I'm going to knead in flour, and then I'm going to transfer into here. And then I'm going to leave it setting on this warm stove top. It is warmer in here now. Temperature is definitely heated up. And I'll get back to you right as we're at that point. Okay, so I have kneaded out the dough. I transferred it into the buttered bowl, and I buttered the top. I'm going to cover the top of it, and I'm going to leave it setting right here. This oven top is very warm. It is the dough is warm right now, so it's all good. So I'm going to, and again, forgive the mess. I kind of got a little loose with the kneading, got things everywhere, but it's all good. It'll clean up, no problem. All right, I'll get back to you, and hopefully the dough will be double in size. And that means we did our job right. Okay, so this is the setup right now. just wanted to go over a few things. I was kind of rushing past that last portion, and I wanted to go ahead and just catch up. So here's the setup as my last video. I always roll out on wax paper several layers. That way I can pull one layer off when I'm done rolling out the dough, and then I'll have the rest for when I glaze. These are the items that I need. I have them set up over here. I have one pan back here and another pan over on the table, and I have my oil thermometer. Now, this is my shortcut. I'm going to go ahead and tell you both ways. I use the apple pie filling, not fried apples. I tried that once before, it didn't work. I cut them up, and this is what I'm going to use. Now, the other way is the regular old-fashioned way, which is just taking some apples and dicing them up, cooking them on the oven with a little butter and brown sugar until they get soft, but not too soft, and that is what you would use. Now, there are several different apples that you could use for that. Whatever you feel best is the one that you would use. I never use them, so I can't, suggest a certain kind of apple, because this is how I always do mine. I just saved myself that step. I have I have a bad back, and I have arthritis, so I try to save myself as many steps as I can. So now the dough is rising. As I said, it's here on by the warm surface. And what I also do is I rotate it every so often so the heat is evenly distributed there. And so this is what we're going to do. When this is done, I'm going to put some flour there. Now, this is a sticky dough. It's a heavier dough because of the stuff we added, like the applesauce and the cinnamon and nutmeg, those kind of things, but mostly the applesauce. So it's going to be a little bit heavier dough, so it may not rise at this point as much as our yeast donuts, but it definitely should rise. But you're also going to let it set a second time, so the second time is also where you should see some rising if it doesn't rise completely here. So we're going to dump the flour, we're going to dump our batter out, our dough out on the surface. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll it out about a ½ inch thick. And then what we're going to do at that point is, I'm going to pick you back up and show you, but I'm just trying to catch up here. So then we'll take some cinnamon. We'll sprinkle cinnamon over the top. It's similar to the way you would roll a cinnamon roll dough out. So we'll get it lengthwise, and then we'll put we'll sprinkle cinnamon on there, and then we'll put the apples, very generous amount of apples, and then we'll roll the dough, and then we'll cut the dough crosswise. But I'm going to show you that. So I'll get back with you here once this bad boy over here is finished rising.